So in this video tutorial, we're going to look at the first step in setting up your Lightbox image gallery. To begin with, what we're going to do is simply navigate to the download site. So once again, you can Google Lightbox or Lightbox 2, or you can click on the link at the Moodle page, go to the Lightbox site. And you're going to leave this window open as we go through the setup procedures here. But the first thing we want to do is download the Lightbox folder with all of the different files and code in here. And click on that. And I have my download preferences set to come to the desktop, but if you've got yours going to the downloads folder, that's fine. Grab the zip folder from your downloads folder or wherever and unzip that, and I'm going to trash the zip folder and I'm left with the Lightbox folder. And inside there you can take a look around, but essentially the author has created a couple of style sheets. There's an images folder which is labeled IMG. We're going to have to change that or move these to our own images folder to make them work. These images inside there are the little X that you saw on the demonstration, the close, the loading, the next arrows. So the little icons that we need to make our Lightbox gallery fully featured. There's a sample index page, which is essentially the page we have showing in the background here. And then there's a JavaScript or JS or JavaScript folder that contains the code for the jQuery and Lightbox code for our site. And so we've got everything that we need there to work with. And we're going to just close that for a minute. The other thing I've got on my desktop is, as in the previous demonstration, I have a folder with images that I want to use. So here is my Dave Pics folder, and I've got 4 pictures in there that I've selected to be used in my gallery. And one of the things that you want to do with Lightbox, as in the demonstration, you saw that the images, when I opened them, were no bigger than about some of them were 600 pixels, and you can see my images are 600, 490, and so you don't want them too big. You want them to be able to be displayed in a web browser. So you want to make sure that you've got images that aren't too big to show in a browser window. And the other thing that you need to do is you need to create your own thumbnail images. Adobe Bridge did this for us in the other tutorial, but we have to do everything ourselves when we build this Lightbox gallery. And so, to do that, you can use an image editor like Photoshop or other image editor that you may be using. But if you're working on a Mac like I am in this demonstration, you can simply do that using the preview option. But I'm going to have to create duplicates of these to resize them and create thumbs. So I'm just going to select all of the images in my image folder, and I'm going to do a control duplicate. So I control click or right click on that whole set of folders and go duplicate. So now I've got copies of all of those images. And I'm going to start with image 1 copy, and I'm going to rename that image 1 TMB, short for thumb. And do the same with image 2 underscore TMB. And so you get the idea here that we're renaming these copies, duplicates, of the files. And then the next step is to actually open up my thumb images that I want to have as thumbnail images, double click on those, And I'm going to go to, so it's opened in preview on my Mac, and I'm just going to simply go to Tools, Adjust Size, and I'm going to switch this thumbnail to 150 pixels big, and okay, it already was 150. Click OK. That's fine. My image 1 is fine. Image 2, I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to make that, so image 2 thumb, I'm going to adjust size and make it 150 pixels. Notice it's set to constrain it, so it should automatically adjust the height as well. And click OK. Save. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. Image 3. Once again, double click on it. Tools, adjust size. Make that 150. So you get the idea here. And then the last one, image 4. Tools, adjust size. And make that 150. Click OK. And actually, I'm going to go back and open up the image 1 that I want to actually display, and I'm going to make that a bit bigger because I had intended to have that image a little bit bigger than the actual thumbnail, so it may be a little bit pixelated, and that's what happens if you go up to a higher resolution from a lower resolution image. But just for demonstration purposes, I'll save this, quit out of preview. So now I should have images that are larger and thumbnails that are all the same width. And that's my goal here, is to set up thumbnail images. They may have different heights and slightly different dimensions, but you know, ideally thumbnails would be all the exact same size, dimensions, and constrained. But not everything's perfect for this demonstration, so we'll just go ahead, and as long as the widths are the same, that's going to serve my purposes here in the demonstration. So I've got my gallery images here, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my root folder on the desktop. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to locate the images folder, and inside there I am going to right click and create a new folder, and I'm going to manually create this folder called Gallery, and simply open up the images and take everything that we had in our images folder and drag it into that gallery area. Okay, make sure that they all go into the gallery. So now when I click on gallery, all of those thumbnails and images are in the gallery area. Locate the Lightbox folder IMG folder. So in the images folder inside the Lightbox, it's actually the IMG folder inside the Lightbox folder that we downloaded. There are 4 icons that we need. The first is just the close PNG, the second is the loading GIF, the third is the next, and the fourth is the previous arrow buttons. And so what we want to do is we want to keep those in the IMG folder because the script is going to look for those specifically in a folder called IMG, not images. So the easiest thing to do is to simply move that IMG folder from the downloaded Lightbox gallery into our own root folder. I know you'll have an images and an IMG folder. Just try and keep them clear. You can use the images for your own and just leave this for Lightbox. Inside that images folder there's a demo page which you don't need. You can either delete it or discard it, or you can just leave it. It's not going to harm anything by being there. I'm just going to drag it out and move it back to the Lightbox folder that I won't be using. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to move the CSS folder, which contains the Lightbox CSS and the screen CSS to be used for the gallery. Move that up into our root folder as well. And that's okay. There's a CSS folder for Lightbox, and there's our own desktop CSS that we've been using. And then the last thing you need is this JS or JavaScript folder, and we're going to drag that up as well. And that contains the various JavaScript and jQuery files with code needed to make the Lightbox gallery work. And so now we've got the folder ready to go. Next thing is to go in and build our gallery page and make it all come together.